Okay, we are live. Yeah, so this session is not really super planned. We've recently upgraded to SIG 0.14.1, and so there are we made a bunch of changes to the code to make it compile and also test the codes or test the programs so they worked, the game and the game editor. But we did like minimal changes to the actual code to like utilize the new features of SIG 0.14. So I think today I'm gonna go ahead and just get used to the new stuff that's in 0.14. One huge thing that I want to go into is the I guess I can just show you here. So let's see if we have something that we can use. So there's probably going to be changes all over the place to utilize these things. Now I believe here is one. Well, actually no, because the type is different. Okay. Maybe not in here actually. Let's go to somewhere else. Let's go to game. Actually, yeah. So, for example, let's see. Let's do this so we get. Oh yeah, I need to fix the LSP as well. Maybe I should do that first. That should probably be a good idea. Okay, I'm just gonna see if I can do that. Let's see if we have it. Okay, I'm just gonna check this on a different thing here. Let's see. Yes, I do have ZLS, but or is it say LSP? No? Okay. Wait, there's a different project called CLS as well? No, it's the same thing. Okay, I was reading. Okay, let me just check the version on ZIG for this one, maybe. Oh, okay, they're already on 0.15. Interesting. So I should probably download like the tag 0.14, use that. But I wonder why I don't get CLS, because I should have it that. Like if I open this up, go here, and then LSP info, There's nothing here. Okay. Strange. Because I did have it work before. And I believe there's something in here that lets you check on ZLS as well. Maybe? Or did I dream that? Yeah, install CLS. Ah, okay. Okay. Now we have it. Oh, okay. Oh, CLS version 0.40. Okay, good. Right. So now we have it. Okay. So great. Okay, cool. Right. Back to this. So here, for example, I think it's one example. Well, now it doesn't get really type for some reason. Okay, maybe I need to change something in the build system. Oh, there we go. Now it's trickled through. So I believe, since we are defining the type here, actually, this is just a constant from camera. So yeah, this is the initial camera. This is from my code. So never mind, that's something else. Let's see, where can I find something to show this from? Here's one example. So we defined a type to be persistent state and the value to be persistent state.init. However, with the new SIG, you don't have to type persistent state again. It will actually, sort of like a enum, an enum value, you can say dot and it will get you dot, it will imply that it's persistent state that you have dotted there. So that's one way of actually using that. Okay, there's probably a lot of other nice things. Also here, arena allocator, we don't need to do dot, we don't need this. So really nice when initializing things. Yeah. And let's go to this init. So we have initial load. Yeah, we're adding a whole bunch of stuff. So I think it's gonna be a matter. I'm not gonna go through like everything and change it, but it's gonna be like a nice thing to be able to use, and I will change things accordingly when I see it. I will sort of update. I was just looking for like more examples of this thing, because it's a really nice sort of more terse upgrade to that. Okay, so that's one thing that is nice with 0.14. Let me actually go and look at the documentation a little bit, so we can go through that. Okay, here's the release notes. And target support, I don't really care about that right now. Yeah, language changes, so label switch. So I did go through some of these before, but I'm just gonna look through and see if there's any like immediate things that I wanna sort of keep in my head to change the way I actually program this stuff. Okay, so let's see. Allow switch statements to be labeled. So yeah, before you couldn't, I think you couldn't do a switch here. You had to, well, yeah, you couldn't have a label here, but now there's, this is some like sort of like a, you can make like a loop now with this switch statement. So you can see here, first it switches on 1, which is obviously 1, and then it continues but with a new value 2, and then it goes into the switch again like a loop, and it goes to 2 and then continue again with 3. The new value is now 3, so it goes back, and when it reaches 3 it returns, and 4 is impossible, and yeah, else unreachable, and you can't get down here. So this, yeah, you can now do this thing, which can be very nice in some circumstances, like a state machine is probably one good place where you can use this kind of method. It's almost like a recursive call where you have the input and you change it and call this thing again, and you change maybe some other state in the meantime, maybe parse. I think this is used in one place where the C code actually parses a string, and so it moves ahead, and as it moves along the string you get to different like states, and so this switch has all the different states in it, and it would do that. So very nice when doing that in a like this synchronous, I guess, manner. Okay. Yeah, so it's like I can't think of any place right now where we would immediately adopt this, but yeah, it's good to have it in mind whenever the need for it arises, or yeah, just test it out like whenever it feels like, oh, this should work. So what's this? Code generation. So this seems like a continuation here. I'm just gonna skim through a little bit here. Yeah, finite state automata. New syntax is clearer at times. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that for this specific purpose, but I'm not sure how many different purposes it would have. But maybe we can explore that. State transition, yeah. However, a key motivation for this language features, lies in code generation. This is expanded below. Okay. Yeah, I really like that for this specific purpose, but I'm not sure how many different purposes it would have. But maybe we can explore that. State transition, yeah. However, key motivation for this language features lies in code generation. This is expanded below. Okay. So that's probably not really something that I would consider good for, or good, but for my game, but maybe in future projects would be nice. This language oh yeah, code generation, as in when you use the label switch statement, it generates code in a better way, I guess, or can do it anyway. Okay, so I'm not gonna bother reading all that. Declaration literals. Enum extends the enum literal syntax to provide a new feature known as declaration literals. Now an enum literal .foo doesn't necessarily refer to an enum variant, but using result location semantics can also refer to any declaration of the target type. Right, so this was what we were using, where, yeah, if you know the type here, you're defining a new thing, or you have a target sort of place where you want to put a value, and you know the type of the resulting place, you can type dot as if you typed the type dot. So s dot, it's like it says s here, s dot defaults, but you don't have to type s, which is really nice because sometimes you don't have to import a bunch of types in order to just initialize them if you know the type from beforehand. Right? So that's really, really nice. Makes the code more terse. Especially if you have like a long type with like array list unmanaged with a type in weird type inside and stuff. Which I believe also the array list unmanaged is, there's a change coming to that as well, where they would default array lists to be unmanaged, the unmanaged version, and then we'll switch out those two types basically. Well, the managed version I guess would be called managed or something like that. But if you type st like stud dot array list, it will refer to array list unmanaged. So that will break a bunch of code, but yeah, it's gonna be some sort of breaking update that you have to change it, I guess. And it will be easy to fix anyway. Since the initialization expression of L as result type of S, the initialization is effectively equivalent to s.default. Yeah. Yes, very, very nice. And here's another example. You have a struct S with X and Y, and then we have some default sort of constructs here. And you have a wrapper with this value, and you just have to type .default here. And here's a test. And then you can also set it like this. Okay, very good, very nice. It can also help in avoiding faulty default field values, like in the following example. Okay, so we have buffer A struct. Okay, so it's a buffer type with a nullable pointer, many sized pointer here to U32s with a length. Okay. And then this is an empty buffer. This is a bad buffer since you only provide the length and not the pointer. Okay. But here we have another thing which explicitly states this is empty, and then it creates a correct version that is actually empty. So that's really nice, because if you're gonna change the implementation here, you can also change the representation of this empty and just make sure that everyone uses these instead of doing it this if they want the empty version. Very nice. And then this one, the language no longer hides incorrect fields, overrides from us. If we want to override a field, we'll have to specify both, making the error obvious. Right, because we're not initializing them anymore. So if you want to initialize it, right, okay, so that's very good. So you can, this will actually be a compiler error. Or wait, No. This won't be a compiler error, but it's clearly an error here because it's setting pointer to null and length to 10. So that's clearly an error. However, you can't now do this because it's you have to specify both of these since they are not initialized. So that's very nice. I mean, you can still do a bad code like this, but yeah, it's a little bit easier to spot. Okay. Many existing uses of field default values may be more appropriately handled by a declaration named default or empty or similar to ensure data invariants are not violated by overriding single fields. Right. Very good. Declaration literals also support function calls like this. So we have a struct with x and y init function. The val returns an s, and it returns the thing here. And here we do .init. Right, so it just shows that you can say .init instead of s.init here. Very good, very nice. As before, the syntax can be particularly useful in initializing struct fields. It also supports calling functions with returned array units via try. Okay, so you can do try as well. Cool. I'm just gonna skim through a little bit here, just a minute. Don't waste a whole bunch of time on this. So the introduction of okay, this might be interesting. The introduction of declaration literals comes with standard library changes. Okay, in particular, unmanaged containers, including array list unmanaged, hash map unmanaged, should no longer be default initialized with. Oh. I actually never used that. I used like init capacity. Okay, I didn't think, because the thing is, you never know if this is a good idea to initialize like this, or if you should use like the init function. To me, it's like the init function is like a constructor, and it initializes the data in a good way. So you should always, like, if it exists, you should probably always use the .init and not try to do it yourself if you don't know exactly what you're doing. So I didn't even realize that you could do this. Well, I know that you could do according to the like language, but I didn't know that was like a pattern that was used. Okay, because the default field values here violate the guidance discussed above. Okay, well, great. Instead, they should be initialized using their empty declaration, which can be conveniently accessed via declaration literals. Okay, so there's a new like empty declaration for array list unmanaged. Okay, nice. And then you don't need an allocator. But you could also initialize with capacity and stuff if you want. But yeah. Okay, cool. General purpose allocator can now be initialized with its init declaration. Okay, so this one is like, I've always done this with the empty, because that's how all the sort of tutorials and stuff did it. So you would say general purpose allocator and then call it, I believe, with some options, and then initialize it with the empty curly braces. But now you can say .init, which is really nice, because the .init didn't exist before, I don't think. Deprecated default field values for these data structures will be removed in the next release. Okay, so this is really nice, because it's always felt a bit weird that you wouldn't say .init. I feel like that should be the pattern. Like, you shouldn't, unless it's a very, very simple data structure, you should probably never initialize it using curly brackets. You should always have like an init function, or because yeah, it's just a nice thing to have, and then you're sure that it's initialized in a proper way. Deprecated default values for this data structure will ruin this. Okay, yeah, I already read that. Cannot. Okay, yeah, I've already felt this one. Fields and declarations cannot share names. So I've already, yeah. And I realized there's ambiguity to it, but then it's also like, yeah, it's also not ambiguous in some cases, because I mean it's ambiguous maybe if you want to reach the function. If you have a function and a field named the same, then if you refer to that name on that struct, what do you actually mean? Do you mean the field or the function? And I guess that could depend on the context. Like if the target wanted a function, you could pass that in. So it's not like a problem that is like, yeah. But I understand why they do so. Yeah, because now I think SIG is the most I don't know, but it feels like it's one of the most strict languages when it comes to like shadowing names. So, which has its upsides and downsides, I would say. Especially if you're really used to being able to shadow, like especially local variables. I'm not sure if I like that. Like shadowing local variables, or a local variable shadowing some other name in the outer scope. I don't feel like that's a problem, actually. But hey, that's how it is. So maybe it's good. I don't know. Okay, one upside of this restriction is that documentation comments can now unambiguously refer to field names, thus enabling such references to hyperlinks. Okay, that's good. Okay, and here we go. Splat supports arrays, so that's nice. Yeah, Splat only used for vectors before, but now you can use it for arrays as well, which makes sense because it's basically the same thing. The only difference is how SIG treats the compilation of that, is my understanding of it. The operand may be comp time known or runtime known. In addition, this built-in can also be used to initialize sentinel terminated arrays. Okay. Great stuff. Clone variables can be initialized with address of each other. Can be initialized with oh. You couldn't do this before. This works now. Okay. Well, great. So you couldn't have a pointer to the same thing? Wait, is that accurate? I mean, it has to be, but it felt like I had a tree structure before. Maybe it couldn't be in the same struct or something? Oh, because it's a pointer, so I guess it had to be populated. Wait, what's happening here? You define a node and you refer it to a thing that doesn't exist yet, but it does exist. Okay, so that's the thing, I think, here. You can refer to this B down, even though it's defined down here. Okay. And then you can... So is this part of the sort of not being able to shadow names? Because now it's like, okay, which B are you referring to? Because in this scope, it doesn't exist yet. Now it exists. So I guess it... Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I would have to keep this in mind. Well, I'm not sure if it ever pops up. I guess it's like, yeah, you can use it whenever you encounter this issue. I guess before you would just get an error, but now it's just gonna be good and you're gonna be on your way. Okay, so let me go back to the top here and just skim through this a little bit. I don't care about export. Okay, so we got this branch hint thing. This might be useful in... I'm not sure, but this might be useful in the physics engine if you want to optimize it further. Fence. Okay, I don't know what this is. I think this is for multi-threaded stuff. Or maybe something else. Fence was provided to be consistent with the C11 memory model. However, it complicates semantics by modifying memory orderings of all previous and future atomic operations. This creates unforeseen constraints that are hard to model in a sanitizer. Okay. False positive with standalone memory fence. Thread sanitizer reports arrays over data in the following code snippet. Okay. Yeah. So it's like mostly with, I think, multi-threaded programming, which I don't really need to get into that right now. I realized that I could probably, well, I could upgrade the physics system to use multi-threaded programming. We can also, what we can do is maybe offload some stuff to the GPU, but yeah, I'm not looking to improve that right now. It's not necessary. Okay, package struct equality, package struct atomics, pointer cast allows change in slice length. Huh. Okay, great. Remove anonymous struct types, unify tuple. So what's this? Anonymous struct types. This change reworks how anonymous struct literals and tuples work. Previously untyped anonymous struct literal was given an anonymous struct type, which was a special kind of struct which coerces using structural equivalence. Right, so it's like a so you create the type and a value at the same time, but it has some special properties. So it coerces using structural equivalence. So you could maybe, like in TypeScript, they have a bunch of these. So if you have another struct, as long like the structs are basically the same, like it's basically all structs are anonymous in TypeScript. And if you, so it's not like you can define two different structs with two different names and they have the same fields. In TypeScript they are the same type. In here it's different, I guess. So mechanisms was a holdover from before we used result location. Semantics is the primary mechanism for type inference. This changes the language so that the type assigned here is a normal struct type. Okay, it uses a form equivalence based on the AST node and a type structure, much like a reified type. Right. Additionally, tuples have been simplified. Wait, but it says here that anonymous struct types are removed, so you can still do this. It's just that it's under the hood, it's done in a different way. So what's the difference then? What could you do before that you can't do now, and vice versa? So I guess it's like a more rigid type now. We don't have this weird special type. Tuples have been simplified as well. The distinction between simple and complex tuple types is eliminated. All tuple, I didn't even know what that is. All tuples, even those explicitly declared using struct syntax, use structural equivalence and do not undergo stage type resolution. Okay, I don't know what they're talking about. Tuples are very restricted. They cannot have non-order layouts, cannot have aligned fields, and cannot have default values with exceptional contime fields. Tuples currently do not have optimized layout, but this can be changed in the future. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore all this. So it doesn't seem that there is much of a change that will actually. It sounded like they would remove like this, being able to do this, but I don't think that's the case. Okay, calling convention. Okay, I don't care about that. Yeah, these we already know. Like all the fields, all these were named differently. Basically, uppercase at the like capitalized. But now they are all small letters, so they, yeah, look like everything else, I guess, in SIG. It's like a convention type change. Okay. Where are we? Pointer size. Okay, yeah, same thing here for this enum. Simplify usage of nullable pointer to const any opaque. Default value field on struct field and sentinel fields. Type array, type pointer have to use nullable pointer const any opaque because SIG does not provide a way for the struct's type to depend on a field's value. This isn't a problem, however, it's particularly ergonomic. It isn't a particularly ergonomic at times. Yeah, okay, so we already sort of handled this in the code. They renamed these fields. So, because, yeah, okay, so they renamed them to underscore pointer. Okay, so they now have these functions that they can use. The load, to load the value with the correct type as an optional. Oh. Okay. Oh yeah, so it's like convenience functions to be able to get the type more easily. So before you had to do this, and after you can now just say this. Okay, very cool. Non-scalar sentinel types disallowed. Okay, yeah, I don't care about that. I only use like 0 sentinel. It feels like that whole sentinel thing is basically only necessary for interfacing with C strings. Well, at least from what I've seen. I've never seen it used in another way. Maybe there are some usages for it. Where are we? Yeah, here. Field type built-in. Introduces the field type built-in. This serves same purpose as the standard meta field type function. Given a type and the name of one of its fields, it returns the type of that field. Okay. Great. Source gains modifier. Okay, I don't care. Memcopy rules adjusted. Definition change. Source destination must be in memory, be memory coercible. Okay, I don't care about that. The compiler will tell me when I'm doing something wrong and I will fix it. Unsafe in memory coercions disallowed. Okay. Well, I haven't run into any compilation errors, so I'm just gonna skip those kind of things. I don't care about this. Branch quota rules. Okay, I don't care. Standard library debug allocator. Okay. What's this? General purpose allocator relied on a compile time no page size, so it had to be rewritten. It is now rewritten to make fewer active mappings to have better performance and is renamed to debug allocator. Okay. Performance data point is okay. Right. So there are better performance. So I don't understand, but general purpose allocator still exists, right? I mean, otherwise my programs would fail because I'm using it. Okay. Wait. heap. Okay, so apparently this is going to disappear. General purpose allocator is going to be renamed to debug. Well, it's already renamed, but it still exists as a sort of non-breaking. It still exists as, well, I can just show you here. It says here, general purpose allocator is debug allocator, and it's going to be removed after 0.14.0 is tagged. So yeah, it's going to disappear. Okay, that was why I was confused, because I use it and it says here that it's been renamed. So okay, but anyway, it's a little bit weird that it's called debug allocator though. Like, it feels like you shouldn't use it normally. maybe it's like it's not really optimized. Well, maybe we should use like a more optimized for the purpose of the program, maybe. Okay. Anyway, SMP allocator designed for release fast optimization mode, multi-threading enabled. Okay, cool. See if there's anything else here. Allocator API changes remap. Release introduces a new function called remap. The key part from the doc commands attempt to expand or shrink memory allowed. So this is pretty nice. I actually ran into a case where I wanted to do this, but I didn't find an easy way to do it, so I just deallocated and reallocated instead. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have some difference to sound parsing. Okay. So hang on 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so panic interface. Okay, actually, I wanna read a little bit on this. Panic handler changes. Okay. Well, I don't have a panic handler, but I'm interested in this thing because I think I wanna maybe use it more. Because I basically never use panic. I just use like throwing an error and logging stuff out. But sometimes it's I want to use panic. I want to like just exit everything. So it would be nice to have that. Maybe like a panic handler. I'm not sure how this works. If it's like scoped and can handle like, well, I guess it becomes, if it's scoped, then it becomes just like, you know, a exception handler. But I'm not sure how it works. Namespace not instantiable. Okay. Well, I would have to read up on how the panic system works, but right. Transport layer security. Okay, I don't care about that right now. Process channel to collect output. API changed. Okay, I don't care about. Wait, do I care about this? Not right now, but maybe in the future. Builder API. SIG is one of the few compilers that emit LLVM bitcode directly rather than relying on liblLLVM, which has an unstable API and is very large. This is part of our efforts towards entirely eliminate the LLVM dependency from SIG. The ROC project recently decided to rewrite the compiler in SIG, partly motivated by being able to reuse SIG's LLVM bitcode builder. To make this even easier, we decided to move the builder to API to this place for third-party projects to use. Do note that, as with everything else, this is implementation detail of the ZIG compiler is not necessarily subject to the same API stability and deprecation norms as the rest of the standard library. Okay, so it's like a nice, if you want to sort of build your own language, basically, you can use this to build LLVM bitcode, which then can be compiled further. Okay, cool. Great. Embracing unmanaged style containers. Array hash map has now been deprecated and allies to hash map with allocate. Okay, so that's what they are naming it. To upgrade, switch to array hash map unmanaged, which will entail updating call size to pass an allocator to methods that need one. After 0.14.0 is released, array hash map with allocator will now will be removed, and array hash map unmanaged will be a deprecated alias of array hash map. After SIG 0.15 is released, the deprecated unmanaged will be removed. Okay, so you can still use unmanaged, but now everything is unmanaged basically. So with allocator, so the other version, they just delete that version, basically, is the end result of this. This move comes from an unanimous agreement among veteran ZIG users. If it converts to the unmanaged container variants, they act better as better building blocks, avoiding storing the same data redundantly, and the presence absence of the allocator parameter dovetails nicely with the reserve capacity reserve insertion pattern. Right. The other managed container variants are also deprecated, such as ArrayList. Okay. And we have a list of deprecations. Right. So basically everything here will be caught by like the compiler, and you just fix it accordingly. So it's not really that important to read through. binary search. What's this about? Okay, improve and simplify binary sort. Okay, I'm not using that, so I don't really care how it looked before, and if I ever gonna use it, I will look how it works now, so I don't need to read that. Hashmap gains a rehash method. Unordered hash maps currently have a nasty flaw. Removal cause hash maps to go slow. Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, that's good to know, because we are using hash maps. And wait, in the future, hash maps will be adjusted to not have this flaw, and this method will unceremoniously deleted. Note that the array hash maps do not have this flaw. Wait, what method will be deleted? The rehash method. Okay. So it's gonna call rehash automatically is what I'm guessing from this. Okay, and then we have a bunch of build system changes, which I'm not gonna read through right now, but it's gonna be important maybe to maybe there are some stuff that we can use to change the build system. And then we have compiler changes. Actually, let's look at this incremental compilation, because this will sort of speed up the compilation by potentially a lot. Although this feature is not ready to be enabled by default, okay, it can be opted to, so you can opt into it. It is recommended to be combined with file system watching, because since the compiler state serialization is not yet implemented. Okay, so that would I would have to change the tooling a little bit. So maybe I'll wait before doing that. Well, I can just see if I can upgrade my tooling, but yeah. This features varying levels of completeness depending on which linker backend is being used. None of them generally are ready for use yet, however it works well combined with no emit. Okay, so it's very good for just checking like compiler errors. So that's nice. You get a really quick feedback from the compiler. That's good. Yeah. Create a build option for checking compiler errors only, and try out the incremental compilation this way. Yeah. But it only works with file system watching. Or is it just adds a little bit of performance improvement maybe. Okay. x86 backend is now passing of the behavior test suite compared to the LVM backend. Okay, cool. It is more often than not a better choice than LVM backend while developing due to dramatically faster compilation speed combined with better debugger support. Okay, so that's really nice. So once they are like 100%, they can totally scrap the LVM, I guess. Maybe? I'm not sure. This backend new completion is expected to be selected by default with debug mode early in the next release cycle. Users are encouraged to try it out in this 0.14 release. It can be selected. So I think this is also makes it faster. I'm not sure why they are not saying that. Like, why would you change it? Like, what's the reason for changing it? They don't state the reason for changing it here. I guess, okay, yeah. I'm stupid. I just read it. Dramatically faster compilation speed, yeah. That's the most important thing. And then combined with the better debug support as well. So really, really nice. I wonder how good it is in 0.14.1 now. Because there's not a lot of left here. And you can also import the zone file if you want. Okay. Tokenizer, fine. Include error trace in all functions. Simplify error return trace pass between functions, not just those that return errors. Okay. So basically better error messages. Very good. Linker, move input file parsing to the front end. Okay, wasn't linker written. Okay, fuzzer. So this I think is like a test thing. Right. So we have fuzz test, which is basically, I think it's like a way to, as someone explained to me one time, it's like a test where you basically just push in a bunch of random data, I think. Okay. Yeah. Bug fixes. This release contains bugs. Working on a non-trivial project. A non-trivial project. Oh. Working on a non-trivial project using SIG may require participating in the development process. What? When SIG reaches tier 1 support will gain bug policy as an additional requirement. Okay. But basically any issues I had with the standard library, for example, or something else, you just have to like work around it a little bit. Toolchain, UBS and runtime. SIG now provides a runtime library for this thing, which I have no idea what it is. Undefined behavior. Triggering C code looks like this now. Okay. So it's like better error messages for C code. The default does not correctly detect whether the runtime library should be omitted or included. And also maybe even catching this kind of things, which I guess, yeah. It also would lower the performance as well, but I guess only for debug mode maybe. Okay. So yeah, 19. Right, roadmap. Okay, so the next thing is compilation speed. Cool. Yeah, x86 backend, enhanced linker, LD incremental compilation. Really nice things. Okay. I wonder what's for the roadmap like further ahead. Like what more things will they want to add to the compiler? And here you have all the contributors. Awesome. And all the sponsors. Okay. Great. Well, let's see. I guess this would be renamed to debug allocator, and then you would say .init instead. Oops. And oh, just like this. It's not even a function. Okay. Right. Okay. Cool. But I guess it doesn't matter if it's a function or not. you will know whether or not you want to call it or not. But it's nice that there's an actual init thing there. Okay. Right. So let's see. Should we do something else maybe? Like because the thing that we worked on last time with the game and stuff was, well, we upgraded sort of the editor, and we implemented the animation editor in the new editor suite, which is over here. So now we have, well, we started to get everything sort of gathered in one place. Oh, got an error. What is the error? Where's the actual error? Unexpected. What? Didn't I run the game editor before? Unexpected. Pretty sure, yeah, this has gone through like the upgrade thing. So and we are running with 0.14.1. Unexpected. What? Okay, now we get some weird thing here. Unexpected. Wait. Right, it's trying to create a thread and it fails. just unexpected. Oh, here we go. The paging file is too small for this operator. Okay, am I having problems with my storage space or something? Maybe, yes. Okay, I have to I have to clean out some shit here. Let's see. Well, I'm just gonna remove some shit. Always so little space left, and that's why I'm trying to partition sort of my Windows machine in two parts, like the Windows in on one drive, and then everything else. Basically, I'm trying to install all programs and everything else on another drive because I don't know. Maybe I should all have everything on the same drive. It's like this weird old way of doing things, having separate drives and stuff. But I guess I do have two different hard drives as well, so okay, but now we have a little bit more space, so let's see if we can run this now. That was a very weird error to get. Same issue. Okay. But now I should have like, do I need even more? Oh, this is strange. Okay, let's see if I can remove some more stuff here. I'm just gonna uninstall some stuff. Wait, why is this not showing up? Let's see, did that do anything? No. Okay, I'm just gonna delete this. Okay, something weird is happening with my drive. It's like filling up, even though I'm trying to delete stuff. Maybe I have a virus. Okay, yeah, I don't need this. So I'll install that. Very interesting stream here. Trying to get more space on my computer to be able to run this SIG program. Why do I have GIMP on my Windows drive? Okay, I'm gonna try and just move that. And then create a symbolic link. So that was like more than 1 gig anyway. Oh my god, it's gonna take a long time. Okay, let me see if I can do something else. Like EA games, I'm not using that. Okay, let's see how we're doing now. Okay, we got 1.5 gig. See if we can start now. Okay, cool. I just want to see how much do I have now after I've started. Okay, that I just lost 1 gig. Okay, like what is happening? But now if I run, there's no more changes. Okay, so Not sure what is actually happening there, but did this complete? Okay, so GIMP has been moved as well. So let's go. Why is that still here? Okay. Yeah, I have to fix that later. So okay, I'm not gonna do that right now. Okay, cool. I need to fix some more space on my computer. What the hell is going on? Okay, I don't know what happened. Windows showed up and slapped me in the face. I just asked the question if I wanted to sync my things. And I said, I answered the question and then it went away. Okay, great. So anyway, back to this. Okay, yeah, as I was saying, so we've been upgrading the editor a little bit, and let me try. I'm gonna change the size here to match. Here, there we go. Okay, and yeah, so we can now do, like, we have this assets manager where you can create new assets, you can create directories, you can create scenes, time lapses, animations. You can go into a scene and open that up, like by double clicking down here. You can open up an animation file and look at the animations. You can go to a time map and change stuff there. And so I think next step here would be to sort of import, like remake the project in this format, because now also another thing is that all these files are in one folder. Before I had it sort of maybe spread around a little bit, but now everything is like in one folder, which is in like the projects, an own project folder. So my idea is that I want to move all of the different assets that I had into this folder, except for the textures and stuff, but basically all the data in here, so that we can continue working on the project using this assets manager instead. So then we have like a very nice place where we can put everything in. And also it's very nice because you can actually have, like, let's say you make a directory called animations, and now we can put all the animations in the animation directory. Oh, it didn't actually update the thing, so I have to move out and in. And here you can see we have a directory, animations, and you can go in there, except you can't because it crashes for some reason. Okay, out of memory. What is happening? Okay, I'm just gonna check what's happening with this thing. Who is eating up my memory? Well, Google Chrome, of course. OBS. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening. Let's close off some stuff. Like out of memory? Seriously? I have like 10 gigs left. Is there like a leak going on somewhere? Let's see how the memory usage changes. I'm going into here. Yeah, I remember. Okay, so there has to be like a recursive thing going on or something, that something in here when we read the directory which makes it out of memory. So I'm not I don't think it's like something wrong with my computer. Where are we? Array list. Let's see. Here we go. Layout. Okay, so assets manager. Line 78. Here. Oh, wait. Is this name? Okay, so wait, unreachable. Is this a different error or? Has something changed with the C integration or something? Or do I have to? No. But this, I mean, we're able to show text. Okay. Let me check here. We have path and name. They are 0 sentinel. And here you can see we're doing that. Yeah, we're reading. Right, so we're going in here. And then during this it fails. So it, I mean, it might be because, okay, so it might be because there's a bug here somewhere which just goes through infinitely, and then it fails somewhere else, possibly because, yeah, and then here we create. So maybe we should log a little bit more to see where we end up here. So we do all this. Because this has worked before. I know I've tested it. Maybe I changed something, didn't, and but let's do this. Creating file node. I just want to see if it goes in here. to get a better view of like what's happening. So we're looping through here, iterate path. Okay. Now, oops. Let's do log iterating node let's use enter path here. Okay, so it doesn't even go in there. So where is it? Array list. I'm confused because it says SIGUI here, but we're not using SIGUI anywhere in here. Right. Okay, yeah. So it doesn't go in here. Right, okay. It doesn't go in here, it doesn't find anything because there's nothing in there. That's right. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Okay, so let's remove all this. Let's remove this. Okay. And so it successfully reads it. But then where was it? Yeah, in the access manager. When we try to display this name here, it fails. So what name is it trying to display? Because we shouldn't have any nodes. Okay, let's go back here and see what happens in the case where we basically don't have anything. So we didn't get this error. We say you get this slice, which should be like an empty thing. So what if the length is 0? What happens then? We're freeing it and we're returning as empty slice. Right? Which is kind of a special value, right? Do we have a return anywhere else? And we know it didn't create any nodes because it didn't log that. And so we didn't append any nodes in there. So we should get just an empty thing out. So I don't. Oh, you know what? It might be because we're using. Okay. I think I know what the issue is, but this should have been... Okay, so this might not have been an issue before, since it's like a weird thing that only depends on the memory. That's kind of outside the managed memory. So it crashes because it's trying to read... So this is trying to use the old version, I think, of this. So if we go back to asset, like the manager, and here we're saying if you click the current, no, not this one. We're looping through all the nodes. One of these nodes is going to be the directory, right? So we're in here. We're in the directory called animations, and then you're gonna go. Then you're we have this selectable, and we're checking if the mouse is double clicked. So that means we want to activate this thing. Now, if we do set current directory, we don't want to loop through the rest of this because we're changing the thing that we're currently sort of rendering or currently defining to be rendered. So we actually want to break out if we click, if we want to change the current directory. So we actually, we want to just return because it's going to be reset here. So we're going to return here. But we also probably need to do this. I think this is going to mess up the ID thing here, but we'll see what it says. Yeah, there's some kind of crash. Yeah, missing pop ID. So I think what we'll do is we'll do pop ID and then return. So we clean up that. Okay, there we go. I'm pretty sure I've tested this before, but oh yeah, as I've said, the issue was that when we tried to read the name of like a garbage thing, it just crashed. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm Mark. But yeah, now this works great. Okay. So anyway, yeah, you can create directories, but you cannot actually like move things into the directory. There's like no drag into that. Maybe we can do that as well. Well, maybe not right now, but the idea is that you can then move every animation like into the animation directory, so you can also have this sort of just like a organization thing with that. So that's the idea, and so I can move everything that I had in a project in here, and then make it so that everything links up within this project. I think that would be the next step, and then we can continue working on it through this editor instead. So let's see, we'll go and check project test. Well, we're gonna I guess we can make a new project. Right, we don't really have a UI for that. But we should have like a bar up top or something. Wonder where I would put that actually. It doesn't really matter right now. Let's go over here and see where we can put that, because we have this sort of initial, if you don't have any projects, then it shows like, or if a project is not open, I would, you see this no project open menu. But then once the project is open, we don't really have a menu for opening another project or closing the project. So I guess we can have like a project menu. Let's make this context. Okay. Oops. So we could make maybe a bar up top. Yeah, let's just start there. Is there a way to make just a bar? Or do you have to, like, we do begin menu? Does this have to be in a window, or? Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Project menu enabled. Yes. Okay, we'll test what happens there. Get an error. Okay, let's fix that. Okay, I think we get a weird crash. Search and fail. Okay. Pop up. So it's trying to look at the window and see if it's a pop-up. Okay. Well, let's just use this here and see if we can do some flags. And let's see, menu bar, true. True. No collapse. No move. No resize. Okay, we'll try that and see how that looks. Where is it? Main menu bar. So I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like this. Or is this a different thing? Okay, we'll try this. Will that create a thing at the top, or? Okay, there we go. Here's the thing. Yeah, that was what I was thinking of. Okay, and now should we use begin menu? I guess the children go in here. Maybe. I should probably look at some code for this, but or examples. Okay, there we go. Now we have projects. Okay, and then okay. So now in here, is there like a, well, we have child. I'm not sure what that entails. I'm not sure what menu bar is. Maybe like in a window. Okay, let's do I guess selectable. New project. Or maybe it should be a button. I don't know. Okay, new project. So now we need the context. Okay, let's get rid of this. New project. So what does this do? We select a folder and we create a new project. Yeah. But we don't deallocate the old project. So wait, isn't this, wait, why am I not getting, why is status P not working? Okay, anyway, let's do this. Self, current project, and yeah, what happened? Like, did it just stop working? Okay, quit with execute 0 and signal 6. Local state. Something weird happened here. doesn't find sig or. Okay. What was I thinking on of? Oh yeah, I was gonna check the disk again. So we're down to 127. Man, what is eating up my drive? Whoa. Okay, I think I found something that is eating up a lot. Okay, I'm gonna just get rid of some stuff here. Yeah. There we go. Okay, now I got some space. But yeah, I don't think that was the issue. Maybe it was. Okay, now it works. Okay. Again, problems with space, running out of space. Maybe I should buy a, just buy a large, give in and buy a larger. Anyway, so where were we? Here. Did I get the message again? What is happening? Seriously? No, now it should be fine. We're gonna open this file, context. Yeah. Signal 6. Okay, I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna care about it for now. We'll go to project, and we do have it initialized here, so I think we just call that. Hopefully it's just a bug in ZLS or something, and they will fix it. Vänta. Sorry about that. Let's see. What the hell was I doing? Wait, what? Oh yeah, new project. Okay, anyway, so new project. We have a thing there. That's right. So I guess we can just initialize. Pass the allocator. Okay. I guess we could have a function like set project, which does it properly here. There we go. And now we can do set project. Actually, now we don't actually need to say it project dot. We can actually just say dot init here instead, because of sig 0.14. So let's just do the same thing. Actually, yeah, new and open does the exact same thing. Kind of funny. Okay, so now let's go back here and we can see. Yeah, here's the project and the new project. And I guess for completeness, we also say open. Okay, let's see how that works. We could also have like a close project thing that goes back. I mean, usually editors has that kind of thing, even though it's like not really maybe necessary. And it goes back to the state where you don't have a project open. Wait, what happened? Expected. 244. Expected type. Oh, I need to do this. There we go. And here we have project, new project, and there you can, I guess, select a another folder where you want to have it. Oh, you don't see this menu here, but it's basically opening up the native file dialog for the operating system, and where you can select a project here. Okay, let's just, for fun, add a very simple thing called close project as well. It should be just same thing almost, except we don't select a new folder. We just set the project, or actually because this is, yeah, it's nullable, so I guess technically we could set it to not a nullable thing, so we just set the project to null. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure. Like I always want this, basically want this to be always on top. So I'm not sure if there's a way to do that. I'll just Google this real quick here. So NV always on top. You can use foreground draw list if all you need is render. There's not always on top setting for windows, but you can have a limited number of windows you can use. No bring to front on focus. The issue with using a flag called always on top is when you have more than one window with the same flag, you get ambiguity. If we expose arbitrary set depth settings, it ends to quickly escalate towards extremes. It makes sharing code for different sources more difficult. There has to be like a way to do it, right? Finite number of name layer. No. Okay. 3 days ago. Okay. So the issue is like, because I think Ingrid is like, it's always like you have this one thing that's focused, right? And that includes this bore up here, I think. So that's kind of strange to me, because this bore is a little bit different. It's not really focused in the same way. But I guess it's like treated as just a window or something. I don't know. It is a special thing though. It's like the main menu bar. I don't like it being hidden behind this. But I think what we could do is just move that down a little bit. So we go to, now where is this? I mean, it's gonna be here. So the position will be, let's make a constant. Okay, I need to close this off. Let's make like a constant somewhere. Do we have, yeah, config. Let's do sort of like top bar offset. Let's make it like 24 or something. I don't know exactly, but we'll figure it out. So now we can use that here. So let's grab the config. And okay, now this works for some reason. And why do I not have a config? Now where is this? Alright, it's over there. Okay, and then position, right, menu. Right, so now Y should be the top config, top bar offset, and then the height. Well, yeah, here we want to get like the screen height or the screen size. And this is gonna be, actually probably want like the assets manager, like screen size minus assets manager height, probably. But let's just use this for now, and then config top bar offset. Okay, and then we need to do the same thing for basically all other editors. So this should really probably be in a separate function that we can use. Wait, no, layout timeout. So we'll do the same thing here. So we'll do screen size, menu, or top bar offset, screen size. Just to make sure, yeah, this has to be like this to access the Y component. Okay, and then for animation as well. Okay, so let's try this now. Okay, got some issue. Animation. Oh. There we go. Expected float found in. Okay. Right, the screen size is not. Okay, so I think you also have screen size, right? No, window. Window size. So I'm not sure. I think that's like referring to the window in InV. Let's make, I guess we'll make this into F32 instead. And then it's gonna complain about coercion here. Yeah, or the float, yeah, float. It can't coerce this implicitly, so we have to do it explicitly here. Actually, we could do vector and then go from input this. Yeah, and we have to do the same thing in the other places as well. Okay, so now it starts down there, so yeah, and it actually looks perfect. Maybe it is like 1 pixel off or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's like one or 2 pixels off. Let's try 2, because it looked like it's always nice with an even number, I guess. Maybe it's actually only 1. Let's try 25. We do get a little bit of change happening. Whatever, it's not that important. Let's just stick with 26, so we don't get any weird things. Okay, cool. So now we have projects. I wish we could use the height of this window to affect the height of this window, but yeah, it's not that important right now. Okay, so anyway, Now we can say close project. Oh, and it crashed. Okay. Why did it crash? Oh, okay. I think I understand why. So this is a usual issue that comes up with this type of immediate UI things, is whenever you actually do these kind of things in like you initialize something, but then the UI hasn't completely like rendered, and then it's trying to use things that's not initialized anymore, so it will crash. So I think we want to return a bool here. So after we've done this, we want to return basically true after all of these. All right. Do we care if we end the menu here or something? I'm not sure actually. But we return true, and we're gonna check if this is true. We want to return here as well, because we don't want to use the current project here if it's not working. Function with non-void return. Oh yeah, and then here, down here we do return false. I'm not sure what a good pattern of using this kind of way is. There feels like there could be some sort of abstraction you could do to make it work better. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you know what? When we close a project, we should probably also close all editors as well. Or actually, when we like open a new project, we should also do that. So if we have a project, not only do we deinitialize the project, we want to go through all the editors. Yeah, so we want to basically close, or close editors, I guess we call it. So we want to look through all the editors. So we need items. Right, and then we get an editor. And the editor has what? The initialize, which doesn't do anything. Right. But I guess we call it for completeness sake. So the initialize, since all the things that are open in there is actually opened in the documents, so we probably want to sort of uncache those documents as well. Maybe. We'll see. Let's start by not doing that. But we need allocator. Okay, so we deinitialized editor, and then after we've done that, we want to do free, clear and free. Yeah. Okay, so now no field name items. Oh, it's an array hash map. Okay. Let's see how we're dealing with this. Values. Yeah. Okay, so let's do values like this instead. Well, actually, now that would become a No. Yeah, okay, so we do that. All right. And now it's 252 clear and free. Okay, so there's no. Oh, I guess it expects an allocator. There we go. So we close this. Oh, it still fails. Index out of bounds. Okay. Get current editor. Okay. So somewhere we're assuming that the editor exists when it doesn't. Now, let's see. After we've done this, right, it goes, no, but it should return in that case. So it's like we call close project, it returns true. Then we return from here. So it goes then back up here. Oh, wait. Close project. No, we do set it to null here. Not sure where this is happening. So layout 38. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. So we're not resetting current editor. Okay. Here we're doing equal to null. We're not doing it anywhere else. Okay. So there's no like close editor thing. But I think in close editors we should also do current editor is equal to null. Yeah. Still something else, okay. Assertion fails, frame count. Forgot to call render. Oh, I see. I think it's because we are doing this begin and end and stuff. And so here we have RL imgrid begin. Here we return without doing that. So maybe we should make that into a block or a function. I'm not sure what a good pattern is here, because I guess the risk of doing stuff like this is like you get one frame where the UI kind of looks weird and halfway done or something like that. Maybe it's not that big of an issue, but okay, I'm just gonna fix it by doing this. So we return after we say end here. Or not said, it's gonna be C. There we go. Okay, let's see if that works. Nope. If we add error, missing end. Okay, so now we get those errors that I was thinking of here. We are doing begin menu, so I think we have to like end both of those. Maybe here we can have a switch. Yeah, maybe we can do... I was thinking like this. We have a switch. Okay. First we have a constant, which is projects menu. I don't know what to call it. There. So we switch on that. I'm gonna try this sort of state machine kind of thing. A labeled switch, and then this is the project menu label. I'm not sure if they can have like, not like this, multiple whatever. So let's have a case for, wait, how did you do this? True, like that. And we'll basically put everything. So this is where we want to render the thing. Okay. Then when we're done, we want to do that. But if we get to false, we wanna end the menu and then return true. But we also wanna end the main menu bar as well. Yeah. But if we're true, so this is what happens first. So let's move this down here. And what we do here, instead of return true, we're gonna do break or continue, I mean. Continue projects menu false. And what you also could do is you can rename these like this. You can say projects menu state, I guess. I do enum, and then you would say render, and then you would say what would be a state name for, I'm just gonna call it abort for now. So if we are doing render, I guess what we could do is, instead of doing that, we do an if here, and we have everything in there. Okay, there we go. And then we do switch on render. So render is the default thing. Projects menu state dot render. So if we're rendering, we're doing this. Otherwise, here if any of these are clicked, we want to go to abort, the abort state. And the abort state is down here. And the abort state ends everything and then returns true. Okay? Yeah. So let's try that. Close project. Okay. There we go. And now we go back to this view. So we're gonna create a new project. I'm gonna name it Kottefolket. Well, new project here. Okay, and here's our new project. We can close that, and we can open an existing project as well. Wait. So I opened the project that should have stuff in it. It looks like it's not. Oh, wait. So when we're opening a project, we should also, or actually when we set the project, we should check if we have a project we have an assets library. Right, so what we do is if we have if we have it, we should say assets library right. We set it to the path. So the what is the path? Just that, right? So what's happening here? Right, this is restore session. So yeah, this is the project that we're opening. So we're basically opening the project here as well. So we should probably maybe use that same function or extract this logic to that function or a new function that does the same thing, so we don't get some weird things happening there. So we'll do open project, assuming, or I guess initialize project maybe. Not initialize project. What? Initialize project. 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 Initiali initialize, like in the initial or load project maybe. I don't know what to call it. Let's call it load project. And okay, I'm just typing some helper stuff there, so you don't think that this is, so you don't think that you should call load project there. And then we just, yeah, we set the current directory to that, and so we'll do load project. Yeah, because this assumes that it exists, so. Okay. Right, and then this is not a nullable, so let's do that. Okay. There you can see it actually loaded that project when we started, but if we open up another project and then we close that and we open up our old project, we get this here and we can load things in here. Okay, cool. Let's close this and then let's reset. Whoop, we got a leak, or yeah, okay, we got a couple of leaks. Open editor. So right, wait, here, oh, right, we need to deallocate the key as well. Close editors. Right, so we do this. And then that should return a pointer, right? Yes. Okay. So let's open this again. Open up some editors. Oops. Exit, and there we go. Actually, we need to close the project and then exit. There we go. Okay, let's try again. So now we have no project or anything open or editors open. We open up this this existing one, and there we go. So we might also maybe save some state, some editor state in the project. Like when you open up a new project, you get back to the sort of state that you were when you opened it. So you have one open file, for example, one open editor maybe. Yeah. Okay. And we have this project now, so we can start working here as well. Okay. Right, so next step is to copy everything over there. And should have a bunch of stuff. But basically all of this let's see, where is right, so that's in SIG-Game editor. So let's try and copy the scenes first. So we basically have a whole bunch of scenes in here. So let's copy star.scene.json into projects. Kottefolket. Okay. And we also want the tile maps. There. And the animations are not actually in here, they are in here. So let's copy actually animations. I wonder if you can do this into projects. Okay. Right, now we have all the animations there. But we want to actually rename them. So let's go over here and let's check on test. Yeah, so they have to be named dot animations now. So we'll take all of this. Right, and we'll copy that. And we can substitute dash animations with dot animations there, and then well, let's undo, let's copy that. Oops. And then do a substitution here. There. And then let's see, I think I'll make a macro here. So we will select up until animations, go back one step, 2 steps, search on that, delete this line, go back, paste, go up, and then join, and then make move. And then go down. There we go. Now we copy all of that. And we go into projects and we paste, oops, paste this in here. There we go. Now they are all named animations. Okay. Maybe there's like a more easy way of doing that with some tool or something, but yeah. It's nice sometimes to utilize like the Vim stuff to do things like that. Okay, now let's try and open this. So now you can see we have a whole bunch of stuff here, but I think this is gonna basically crash once I try to open something here, except for maybe the time apps. Oh, could not open unexpected token. Right, so there's maybe some of these have the old there you go. Oh. Old like format. Oops. What's happening here? Forest entrance timer. Let's do why can't I? Forest dash entrance dash. I mean, it is large, but it's not that large. It should take so long to open it. Okay, I have to. Yeah, so there's the history. I should squash the history though. Yeah. Wait, modifiable off? Why? Oh. Right. Wait. No, it's in projects. Right, it's in there. Why couldn't it open this? Is it like the page thing again? I'm still good on space now. Like it is a large file, but it's not like crash large. Oh, I saw a little bit of my experience with music programming there as well. Let's see. Where on the editor? So no, I don't want to do that. I want to do what is? Oh yeah, so no, let's do oh. Okay, see, it's not that like large. So let's do keys. Okay, history time app. Let's do history. Keys. Yeah. So I think what I want to do is I just want to set that to be. So let's actually do this. Let's make a new thing here. And we'll say history is equal to this. Yeah. And then history is going to be actions empty next action index 0. Okay, and then we're gonna have, I forgot, yeah, time app. There's gonna be a dot time app, so that's not gonna change. So now we basically reset the history manually there, and we feed this back into here. I'm not sure if you can do this actually. Okay, let's try and reset this. Wait. Oh. Okay. I just nuked the file. Okay, great. Forest. First entrance. Okay, so back to here, and we'll do first entrance back JSON dot JQ, I guess. Wait, no, there, dot JQ. Okay, right. So now we have that, and then we move to entrance JSON. There we go. Okay. So it's a little bit less now. Let's try and open it again. First entrance. Okay, I need like a hover here. Here we go. Unexpected token. $143. Well, can I open this now or no? Projects. Kottefolket. First entrance. Timeout. JSON. Or will it crash? No, it didn't crash. Okay, so 143. Go to 143, I think. Is now we're at the 143 byte, I think. Layers. Unexpected token. What about now? They all get unexpected tokens. Now what's that? 101. Oh, it's the same place. What if we do this? Whoops. No. Force it. Yeah. Wait, what happened now? A leak? Wait. Yeah, unexpected. I should see this error. Yeah. Okay, yeah, same place. That's very strange. I mean, maybe it's like, yeah, I don't see anything called layers. Let's see how the structure is. If we open up a time map from here, we'll run prettier on it. Right, so here we're at grid, same thing. Layers. Oh, here layers. Oh, okay, so this is like items, this is not items. Okay. Right. So what we actually could do then, and that's, I think that's the only difference, maybe tiles is also different. Yeah. So we could run this through JQ to fix that. I'm just gonna double check there's nothing. Different here. No, that looks good. Okay. So let's make a JQ thing here for that. This. So actually, let's do that. Okay, so let's do time equal to time history equals to history. Okay, and then here I want to get keys on. Wait, so we have time map, we have grid, tiles as layers. So I think everything I want everything to be the same except for layers. I wonder if there's a way to do that without having to grid, size, and then I'm just gonna say layers. Oh, you need to type like this. Is empty, so we get this now. Oh, but grid is empty. How is it empty? Oh, I have to do .time at .grid. There we go. Oh, okay. Because we're not in that selection. Well, I mean, I guess maybe let's try this. Let's do .time at, but then we want to run this through an empty thing. Okay. So now when we say grid is equal to .grid, we get the grid. Okay. And then layers do empty for now. Okay. So layers is going to be .layers. Actually, no. yeah, layers, and then dot items. So already we have fixed the first issue. And we run items, we run this through. What does each item have? We have ID, name, no. What's going on here? Okay, can't think this right. So we'll do this. No? Oh, so you can't do something like this. What if I do this? Or I'm not sure how to do this with the array syntax. Items? It's called items, right? Okay, now we're back to there. I'm just gonna Google this real quickly here. JQ. Like something like that. Oh, so you can do map. Okay, so let's try map. What does that do? Okay, so you do dot layers dot items and then map. And then if we do the dot, we get the same thing back. And then if we say, now if we restructure this, so we get ID is equal to I.id. So now we only get the IDs there. Okay. There's probably an easier way to copy all of the things, but I'm just gonna do it like this for now. And now we get the name. Okay, in the grid. And then the tiles is the last one, I think, yeah. Okay, so now we're back to where we are. Cool. And then the tiles, we do the same thing there. We do map. And source. What source is solid. Is solid. Count index array the string source. What's happening? So that's map. Oops. Tiles and then map. Source. Oh, wait. Tiles. Right. This is the issue. Tiles.items. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So now we should have a thing that we can use. So let's do this. And now we have this. And right, I think you can say, if you say C, it's gonna be compact, yeah. And now we do move temp to projects, and this one was this one, I believe. I'm just gonna double check here. First address, time of adjustment, yeah. Yeah, so there we go. Now we have a way to transform these things. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't crash again on me. There we go. Right, and now let's try and actually open this again as well. No, missing field. Oh, there's a missing field now. So that was not enough. What is the missing field though? 259 missing field. Okay, it doesn't really tell me. I don't know if I can trust this thing here, but there's a missing field, and what is the missing field though? Let's open up one of these old ones so we can see. was a bad idea. Why does this take so long? Okay, let's just do, no, forest entrance time. Is it active layer? Whoops. Wait. Yeah, maybe it is active layer, because this one doesn't really have it. So it's supposed to be just in the time app. So I'm gonna do this again. So map I'm just gonna see if there's a better way to copy a whole like I just want to map on one field. Like, can you merge objects? I'm just reading up on how to more easily use the JQ here. Recursive descent. No, I don't need that. Ah, you can do plus. Okay. So let's test that. Let's do. Well, we have one object here, so it's going to be this, and then plus, and then time map. Will this crash or just work? Okay, it works. Okay, cool. So you see we get the history as well. And if we say that time map is just an empty thing, we get this. So that's really nice. So now we get time map. And we want to do plus. And then empty. That should just bring us. Wait. Do I need parentheses here? Here? No? Why does this not work? Unexpected plus. Okay. But I want this plus this. Why is that unexpected? And if I do this, it complains something else. A is not defined. I'm not defining. Oh! Okay. There we go. Well, there we don't go. Invalid character. Okay, let's surround this by single quotes instead. And then we can use double quotes here. There we go, okay. There we go. And does this need to be parenthesized? Yes, apparently it does. Okay. Well, anyway. What we want to do is we want to have layers. It's gonna be .layers.items. Right. Or not. Or time of layers. Yeah. Dot items. Oh. Okay, let's do this. I want to have you height there, and then let's make this plus there. Will that work? Or do I have to do parentheses here? There we go. And now we have layers dot layers. Layers dot items. Doesn't exist. Okay, so that's already, yeah, right, that's right. Okay, I was just testing this a little bit, so I realized that I don't need to do all this. What I need to do is, well, I need to do this and then active layer. I guess what you could do here is you could say layers 0 ID. There we go. And then we save this, and then we use that. Okay, now let's see if we can open this up. There we go. Now it works. Okay, so now we have a sort of functioning way of doing this. Let's make a little script. Update time app. So we had well, let's do this. Okay, so it does complain. We had let's do dot plus timer is dot timer, and then dot plus layers. It's going to be dot layers dot items, and then we pipe that as well, dot plus. And then the thing we want to change is, I think it was tiles. Yes. Tiles. And this is going to be dot tiles dot items. And that's it, right? Oh yeah, and also time app, and then also the active layer. It's gonna be dot layers dot items, the first one dot ID. Okay, so let's just check if that works first. So let's do update time app there. And then we'll do this. Okay, cannot index array item with string with items. Now what is that? Oh yeah, because that one was already done. So let's do 2. Cannot index arrays with string tiles. Let's copy this. Okay. I just want to do okay, and then let's see. is the issue? Tiles.items. Cannot index array with string tiles. Oh. Okay, yeah, I think we need to do map here. There we go. So now this one, yeah, the tiles are there. This is the layer, this is the list of layers. This is the layer, this is the tiles, this is the tile. Okay, there we go. So we do map there. There we go. Okay. And yeah. And then we run this into somewhere. And we do move temp to this. Now we run this again, it should be an error. Now we just want to do this for all the time apps there, so we'll do, oops. Okay. Well, I guess we do want to keep this here. So let's just do update timeapp.sh. Whoop. Why did it become like that? Oops. There we go. Okay, and then we copy this and we paste it and run. And we're doing the same thing again. There we go. Okay, so now all the time apps should work. Let's see if we can. Well, maybe not actually. Oh, right. So if this fails, okay. Well, okay. I'm not gonna fix it right now. I have to re-copy all of this. So let's do. There we go. Now we need to move those. I think all of these. Move. Into projects. Okay. Copy, paste, or not move. Wait, no. Then I will lose the original. still good. Oops. Oh, it doesn't matter, I guess. There we go. Okay, now we should be back here. Okay, we have all those. Now let's there we go. Okay, now let's try it. No? Forest entrance. Okay. It hasn't been updated. Interesting. Oh yeah, the history is... let's squash the history as well. So actually, yeah, the history will just say actions. I think that was what it was called. Next action index, and then actions. No. Wait, I think it's fine. Yeah, we just have the original here, I think. I think at least. Yeah, we got the original. Okay. So anyway, okay, yeah, they're both synced. Now, what I want to do is I want to run. Let's run it on one first. But let's do this. Okay, I don't know what the hell. There we go. Let's remove that. Okay. Trying to improve my skills here a little bit while we're doing this as well. Okay, didn't catch the first one there. Okay, so let's copy this and run that. Okay, there we go. Now we got this error again. I don't want to open this file. I just want to Okay, it disappeared. Let's do. So so the layers are fixed in this one, but the actions here are not. So right. So that's what we want to do. No, wait. This one was the local version, okay. So we basically want to save this to that file. Well, basically what we want to do is not this now. We want to say this is going to be the same, and then the history is nuked. Okay. What? Okay, now we should be able to open this. Or not. Oh, because I ran it again, maybe. Yeah, it's empty now. Okay, great. Okay. Now we're back to that, so we should just do this now. Okay, let's do restore. Yeah, I want a cat. Just check here. See? This one. Well, this one seems fixed already. Okay. We have to go through each one there. Okay, but anyway, now this one needs to be done. So this one is now the old version, right? So we'll wait. It's not possibly not the old version. Actually, it's probably we probably need to do this. Yes. So we'll do update. I'm just creating a whole bunch of issues for myself, basically. Yeah, there we go. Now we don't run it again. We run this and we see that we try to open it and now it works. Okay. So that one is fixed. Let's see what else. We can just try things here. So we'll open up. Right, so Forest Entrance 2 is bad, so let's try and just, because Forest Entrance 2 seemed to work, or seemed to be a good thing here. Actually, items capacity 0 is bad, but the rest seems fine. So I think we'll run on this one. Now it's good. All right, and then we copy this to projects here. Right, and now we should be able to open it. There we go. So that's 2. This is the normal. Hill is bad. First hill. Okay, so I think we can just do this. And then copy that to there. Hill entrance is also bad. Now this works, okay? Alright. Oops. Time up, time up, time up, time up. Okay, now all the time ups there work. This one though does not work. Test. I'm not sure if we actually need that. This one we do use, I think. Yeah. I think we'll just remove test because I don't think that's used. Okay. Well, we'll see. Time up. Okay, so now all the except this one, mount. Same thing here, okay. Yeah. There we go. Great. Okay, so now that all works, should probably have some sort of backup system in place as well. So we don't really need this script anymore, but we could, I guess we could keep it around if we want to maybe update some of the other stuff as well. Let's go to do here. Let's actually go, let's make a new to do on this project. So currently move all files to new project structure. So we have time ups. So the time ups are done. The only thing that I'm thinking also is like the absolute file names of some of these things. But yeah, it's only going to be an issue if you move the entire sort of project somewhere else. For right now, I'm not going to worry about it, but it's going to be a thing we need to take care of. So that's the time ups. And yeah, and they also refer to a texture, but the texture is also like absolute and it's not gonna move for me, but it's probably better if it's like in the project and also in the project folder so that you don't break anything, and then also like, yeah, relative. So I think it's probably best to have everything relative and in the project folder that is going to be referenced from any of the files, because then you can make sure that nothing breaks like that, like between files. So we have scenes and we have animations. I think that's it. Okay. Right. Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go now, but that's gonna be it for this time. We stumbled a whole bunch here. So we read up on 0.14 in SIG and made some changes that the new language features has to offer, or utilized some of the new features, like the declaration literals, which makes it really nice to initialize new values, and also the label switch to make a sort of state machine in our layout, one of our layout functions, which probably gonna use more when it comes to that, because that was a really good fit for that, although you could argue that you could also use maybe a scope, like a scoped, like for that one it doesn't really have more states than 2 states. Like you render, and then if something is gonna change the project in that specific menu, something that like invalidates the memory that's gonna be used later on, then you want to abort the rest of the function. So it's basically has two different states. So there may be a better way to do it. Maybe you could do it with a block instead, a labeled block, and then use that as the thing. Well, I don't know. Anyway, maybe it was a good fit with a label switch. But anyway, so we're gonna have to keep in mind like some of these new features going forward, and keep trying to use them so we get used to that. So anyway, yeah, that's gonna be everything I have time for today. So thanks for everyone tuning in and watching, and hope you got something out of it.